Well, hello friends! Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! I hope you're all doing well. I know that I have been a busy bee, so I'm so glad to be back and making videos and back in the kitchen. I thought that I would share one of my first of the new year. I thought I would share one of my favorite comfy cozy recipes. These are my fluffy banana buns. These are definitely not your grandmother's 1-pounder banana loaf, so I sure hope that you like them. In my silver bowl that I'm smashing up here, I have 2 very ripe bananas, which is why it's so dark, and I also have 2 tablespoons of soft butter. It doesn't have to be melted, just soft. I also tossed in 1 egg and gave that a smash and a mix up. I'm going to add that into my mixer momentarily, and then down here in the left hand corner, this little white ramekin that I will pick up in a moment, that has my activated yeast mixture. So that's 2 teaspoons of instant dry yeast and a 1/4 cup of hot water. So it's about maybe 95-degree water. You don't want it too hot or it will kill your yeast. So just warm enough to get it nice and happy and bubbled up. So we'll give that a mix, make sure that's combined. And while that stirs up, I will go ahead and mix my dry ingredients that I've put together. So in this little bowl, I have 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of sugar, about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And in a second, I'm just gonna start adding that in. Let's make sure all of my yeast is mixed together. Everybody's happy. Okay, great. So we'll take my dry ingredients. I usually add about half of the mixture in at this point. I'll mix it up until it's, mostly combined. And then I'll go ahead and add in the rest of that, and you will see me do that momentarily. Shout out to my friend Donna, who gifted me my new stand. I'm going to call it a stand slide. It's this cute little slide that hooks on. Look at this. Look at how cute this is. And so I can pour my flour into the bowl and it doesn't go everywhere. I love it. Thank you, Donna. All right, so here we go. Rest of my flour is going to go in. And then we're going to let this come together until it forms a soft, sticky dough. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so what you are about to see me do here is add a little bit of milk. My dough was looking kind of dry, and so I added about a tablespoon of milk just so that I could put some moisture back in there and give the dough something to make it stick to itself so it could get a good knead. And so I just put a splash in, and we're gonna let that knead for a second, and then I scooped out the bottom because you always get those pesky little dry bits of flour that stay at the bottom of that bowl. So I did go ahead and scoop those out so that we get a nice fully incorporated. Look at those. I hate those little suckers. All right, so we'll put that back in there and we'll get this kneading again until a nice soft dough forms. All right, so we can see this soft dough has started to form. It's pulled away from the walls completely. It is sticking to the bottom a little bit, so I am going to pull this out and just check on it. I think it's only been kneading for about 5 minutes here. All right, and we can see this is actually quite sticky. Remember, I did put that splash of milk in to try to put some moisture back in. But I believe in a moment I'm going to decide that it was a little too much, because you're going to see when I try to pull this away that this dough is just a little too sticky. It's sticking to my fingers just a little too much for me. I wasn't liking it. It wasn't doing the same thing. Now we can see it does have some stretch. That means the gluten is building up, but see, a little too sticky. I don't like it. Yep, I don't like it. I agree with my future self agrees with this self, because I'm definitely recording this audio later. So I am going to pop in maybe 2 tablespoons of flour, and I'll put my dough hook back on here. We'll pop this 2 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm going to let this knead for another 4 or 5 minutes, and I will show you the difference in the dough before we put this away to rise. So now that my dough has come together more, this has been kneading now for approximately that 8-minute mark. I'm now going to add in a tablespoon of soft butter, and I'm just going to add it a pinch at a time. I do this in 3 little pinches. So I add the first pinch, I let it mix together. I add my second pinch, I let it knead together some more until, I don't see any of that butter kind of lingering around. And then I'll go ahead and add my final little pinch of butter after I take her off the hook here. So I'll make sure, because I want to make sure all the butter gets incorporated. So I'll slide some of this dough off the hook, pop in my last pot of my last pot of butter into the dough. We'll get this hook back in here, and we'll knead this for another 2 minutes until we hit that 10-minute mark, all right? Okay, she's finally ready. So we are going to see the difference in the consistency. You'll see that it is still tacky, but I can touch this dough without it overly sticking to my fingers. So what I like to do is I like to pull the dough away from the sides of the bowl and kind of make it into a little ball at the bottom of the bowl. I just like to scoop, kind of tuck it under itself, make sure she's in this cute little shape. I'll scoop her up, kind of tuck her up into a little ball. You'll see I tuck her up and roll her around, a little cute little ball, cute little banana ball of dough. She's so precious. Okay. And then I'm going to put a towel on top, and I will stick her in the microwave with the light on. I don't turn the microwave on, obviously, but covered, and she's gonna sit for an hour, all right? And you saw she's tacky, see? But she's not sticking to my fingers. Yeah, she's ready to go to bed. So we're gonna put her in the microwave, covered up for an hour, go watch a movie, take a bubble bath, paint your nails, online shop. Here we go. Coming back hot. Boom! Double in size. She's beautiful. She smells like banana. We can't wait to see how fluffy she is. Look at the open gluten bubbles in this dough. Yes! Look at her. She's beautiful. Okay, so we will roll her out into a log, and then I will divide her up into 9. They're going to be rough because this isn't for a customer. These are just for my family. So roughly 9 rolls, and I will roll them up into little parcels, making sure I cause some tension underneath them, right? I parcel them up, roll them over, make some tension on the bottom, and pop them into my tray. And we will let these rise again for another 30 minutes after that. So here we go. I will let you enjoy my high-speed bun forming, fluffing. Have fun. Okay, thanks. Okay, so as you could see, I definitely had some that were smaller than others, but that's okay. I just stuck my cutie little 4 in the middle, and they're gonna puff up just fine. So we preheated our oven to 350. They've sat for 30 minutes, and voila! Look! They're cute little touching buns. They're nice and poofy, and we will pop this into our 350 oven. Middle rack. We don't want it all the way on the bottom. You don't want it all the way on the top. Right in the middle. Close her up. And in my oven, they are exactly 15 minutes. So we will put my timer on, and you're going to have some grace and ignore my chipped nail polish. And while this bakes for 15 minutes, I'll show you how I make my cinnamon and sugar glaze. It's very simple. I have 3 tablespoons of hot melted butter. I have a tablespoon of sugar and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I mix that up. And then I pour it on in and I mix that up. And I just keep mixing until the sugar and the cinnamon are completely dissolved and combined. And I have a syrup for the tops of my buns. We're gonna mix her up, and I'll see you guys in not 10 minutes because we're gonna cut to it because it would be ridiculous for me to make you wait 10 minutes. So I'll see you in 30 seconds, but this is gonna take me 10 minutes. And here we are, the finished product coming out of the oven nice and hot, beautiful golden brown. I'm gonna pop my glaze on them just like I do with my Japanese milk rolls. I'm gonna pop the glaze on them while they're still in the pan. It helps with the mess, and you also want to help them soak up all of that sugary, cinnamony deliciousness. So after a couple of minutes, I did pop them out of the pan to cool completely. And here's the finished product, you guys. These are beautifully soft. They smell banana, cinnamon, sugar, all the yummy deliciousness. I don't think you'll ever look at a loaf pan again when it comes to making banana bread. There's really no other way but this. I had to take a bite because I couldn't help myself, but look at how soft and beautiful. Thank you so much for coming back. I can't wait to see what the new year holds, and I hope that you enjoy.